All right, we are live on YouTube, and tonight we are going to be discussing YouTube's new monetization policy, and we're also going to be discussing some major changes to YouTube's terms of service. So stick around for all of that and much, much more that's coming right. Whoa! Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, when that pop-up box pops up, make sure you select all notifications, because that way you won't miss a single thing. That's right. You will not miss anything when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help people get a better grip on their lives. Oh man. I feel really, really great today, folks. I have to start off this show by saying I had a very, very productive day. I'm going to share more about that here in just a little bit before we get into this very, very important topic. But before we get to that, I want to pay special props once again to this channel sponsor, which is my good friend Troy Brewer, who is the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. For all of your product and service needs from the most trusted professionals in the industry, please consider visiting www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. One more time, that's www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. You can also visit a subsidiary of the Discover Community Network, which is known as the DCN Internet Radio Network. That's Discover Community Network Internet Radio Network. When you go to that website, you're going to see a bunch of amazing internet radio stations. There are music radio stations, and there are also talk radio stations. And one of those stations is more than likely to suit your genre needs, whether it's for music or talk. So if you like to listen to talk radio or music throughout the course of your days, or even while you're driving, you can plug it into your, you use your smartphone and you plug it into your car by Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and you can listen even when you're on the road. If you want to check out that site, it is www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. One more time, www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. Both of those links are below in the description, about a third of the way down. And if you go to those sites, you can also find out how to connect with Troy. And if you choose to connect with Troy and send him an email, please don't forget to mention that Coach Eli sends you with lots and lots of love. All right, welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to the show. Let me make sure that the notification has gone out. Give me just 1 second here. It looks like the notification has gone out and everything is rolling smoothly. I did update my version of OBS, Open Broadcast Software, today to the latest version. I had that updated in a while. I was using the previous version, so hopefully it's working okay. We'll find out once the show ends and I check out the replay. But one more thing before we get right to it, folks. If you're brand new to this channel and you're trying to chat in the chat and you're not able to chat, here is the reason why. All of my streams are still publicly available. When I do live streams, they're still going to be publicly available, such as this one. But my live stream chat is only open to members only. So there's one of three ways that you can chat in my chats. Number one, if you're a moderator, you bypass the members only thing, and you're free of charge. You know, when you're a moderator, you're a trusted collaborator or partner, and you've earned, having a freebie in the chat. The second way you can chat in the chat is by purchasing a membership. I have 5 membership packages ranging from $4.99 per month all the way up to $99.99 per month, which is a super fan sponsor package there. All 5 packages will get you the exact same thing. It's just up to you how much you want to or can afford to donate to sponsor and support the channel. Here's what you'll get as a channel member. You'll be able to chat unlimited in all of my live stream chats. You will also get access to 21 members-only videos that I've already created and many more to come in the future, starting in 2021 at some point. I will also be doing exclusive members-only live streams with some exclusive information that will only be available to members. So you'll have access to that. And there are some additional unwritten perks at my discretion that I will be giving channel members that support this channel as well. So if you'd like to join, you know how to do that. You know how to find the join button. Just look either on your phone or on your laptop or desktop, or go below the description. It's a few lines down. You'll have a direct link to where you can become a channel member of this channel here. And last but not least, if you do not want to become a channel member and you're not a moderator, the only other way you can chat is by going to the bottom of the chat where you see that $sign. That is known as the super chat and super sticker button. You can send as many super chats as you'd like for a minimum of $1 or 99 cents on your iPhone. But if you send more than 5 $1 or 99-cent super chats, that's pretty much $5 right there. Why wouldn't you just become a member instead for $4.99 per month and chat unlimited throughout the entire month on all of my streams? Anyway, the choice is yours. I'm just giving you the options. I'm laying out the options here loud and clear, loud and proud. All right, so let's get right to it because I'm going to try to limit this stream to under an hour because the information here is very important and I want to make sure that everyone clearly understands where I'm coming from, because there has been many creators out there talking about this in ways that I disagree, and I'm going to share my differences here, and I'm going to share with you folks the truth. I am the voice of reason. You know, I've always been a very reasonable guy, and I'm going to be the voice of reason regarding this. Now, there are a few other creators that, do feel the same way as I do. So let me just read the title and you'll understand what I'm saying. Nick Nimmin is spot on about the new YouTube monetization rules plus major terms of service updates. One more time. Nick Nimmin is spot on about the new YouTube monetization rules plus major terms of service updates. So I mentioned Nick Nimmin because he is a YouTube self-help guru that I've been following on this platform for many years. Now, some of you know him, maybe many of you know who Nick is. If you do not know who Nick Nimmin is and you have not subscribed to his channel already, please go below the description. His link is towards the top of the description section, and subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications, and start following Nick because he's been one of the most reasonable self-help gurus out here on YouTube that provides accurate and very honest and very reasonable information. And that's why I wanted to give a shout out to Nick and mention him in this video because I really enjoy your content, Nick. I think you're an amazing guy and you're doing great things. And, there are some other, YouTube self-help gurus out there. Many of you may already know these people. There's Daryl Eves, there's Roberta Blake, there's Brian G. Johnson, there's Tim Schmoyer, video creators, there's Creator Fundamentals with Dan Courier, and there are a few more out there that either have over 100,000 subscribers or are close to over 100,000 subscribers. And while they all have created great content, only a few of them are still very consistent to this day. A lot of these people that used to create this type of content still have their channel up, but only put out one video every 3 or 4 months, such as Mr. Daryl Eves. I love you, man. I'm not trying to say anything negative about you, but I believe you're the one that's helping out Mr. Beast, and you got so many projects outside of YouTube that you are not as consistent with your YouTube channel as you have been. And with no disrespect, Daryl, I mean, I love you, man. I think you're a great guy, but I think part of, being a good self-help, guru type of YouTube channel is being consistent and setting the example, man. And I know, Daryl, you've owned it on some of your recent streams and videos that you've done. Daryl used to put out 3-4 videos a week, and now he puts out a video either once per month. Sometimes he'll go 3 months without putting out a video. And I would just love to see more. But Nick Nimmin is still very, very consistent, and he continues to grow. I believe Nick just hit over 700,000 subscribers, and congratulations to you, Nick. Now, why did I decide to do this topic when many other YouTubers have already done this topic? I mean, I watch YouTube all the time. Obviously, I'm a YouTuber, but I was watching YouTube over the last 24, 36 hours, day and a half. Once YouTube and Google started sending out the terms of service via email, any Google account you have will have received an email with the new monetization policy and new terms of service to go along with it as well. And many other creators that I follow, including, larger creators with 100,000 plus subscribers, some over 1 million subscribers, did their videos on this. And the majority of the people that did videos on this were not happy at all with the new changes. Specifically with the new change to the monetization policy, which is now going to allow YouTube and Google to place ads occasionally where they see, fit and that follow, ad-friendly guidelines on channels, smaller channels that are not monetized, or any channel, despite its size, that is not monetized. And a lot of these creators, even though they are monetized and they have larger channels, they're they've come off very, very angry and bitter, saying that, what gives, YouTube and Google the right to put ads on channels that are not monetized, and then the channels that those ads go on don't get a cut of the revenue. And as I heard more and more of these creators say the same negative things about this aspect, it really started to bother me, because a lot of these people just don't realize how business works. They don't realize that it costs money to run a company like YouTube and Google. Obviously, Google owns YouTube. People don't understand the incredible cost that YouTube incurs just to keep the doors open, figuratively speaking. I mean, it's an internet site, but that's, how we used to say it in the real world. When you're running a brick and mortar business, it costs a lot of money to keep the doors open. Figuratively speaking, it costs a lot of money for YouTube and Google to keep the doors open on the YouTube platform. People don't realize that, there are over 500 hours of videos uploaded to this platform every single minute. 500 hours every single minute. That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot of content. And it takes a lot of storage space, just like you have on your computers. You have a hard drive, right? You have a certain amount of space. Well, just think about how much space, Google and YouTube need to have available to store 500 hours of high quality videos uploaded every single minute. No one takes that into consideration. Additionally, you have to understand they have to stream that content to you. And in order to stream that content to you, they have to have a lot of what is known as internet bandwidth. They have to have, lots of internet speed available, which also costs money. There's also electric bills. I'm sure their electric bill is quite costly with all their databases and their data stations and all that, okay, or their data centers is what they're called. And they have data centers in several areas all over the US and in several areas in every other country where YouTube is currently at. So why are people that are complaining that YouTube now wants to put ads on channels that are not monetized and take all the revenue? Why are people complaining, when it costs this company a lot of money just to keep the doors open? You have to understand that as a creator, it is a privilege to be on this platform, whether you're monetized or not. And Google and YouTube don't owe any of us anything. They don't have to have us on here. They can shut down this company tomorrow, and there's not a damn thing any one of us can do about it. So, I'll be honest and say I'm very, very sick and tired of people whining and complaining about YouTube when they provide us the absolute best video platform where you can upload videos, up to, 4K at 60 frames per second or even higher. I believe you can even go up to 240 frames, but that's what do you call that for slow-mo? But typically the highest you're going to upload a motion video is 4K at 60 frames per second. They allow you to upload files as big as 128 gigabytes per video. Now, I know most of us are never going to upload a file that big, but if you're into 4K and you do a long 4K video and you have a fiber line like me, and you may consider uploading a file that big to get a higher resolution file at the best quality, you have that option. Do you folks not understand that it costs a lot of money? It takes a lot of work to give you what you have. And many people, if not most people, take this for granted. They take it for granted. So yeah, like I said, I was thinking, should I do a video regarding this topic? I typically will always do a video or a live stream when there's a major change to the terms of service or the monetization policies. This time I wasn't going to do it because just so many people got on it right away, but because very few people truly understand what's going on, me being one of them, I wanted to be another voice of reason. So hopefully, people that are truly, seeking the right information will come across this video and, they'll understand, what I'm saying. All right. So this is what I'm going to do tonight. I'm not going to be on too terribly long. I'm going to switch on over to the browser source. Actually, you know what? That's my monetization page right there. What I was going to do first is go over updates to YouTube's terms of service. And let me go ahead and narrow this down a bit here. I set it up the wrong way. My apologies. So give me just 1 second. This will not take too terribly long. It won't take too terribly long. I just want to make this a little bit bigger so you folks are able to see this. Yeah, just 1 second. We are almost set. All right. Okay, almost set. Let me see. All right. All right, so we're all set. Updates to YouTube's terms of service, November 2020. Hi, everyone. Today, we're making a few updates to our terms of service. The terms of service are legal documents and written in legal language. So we're writing this post to highlight what it means in more plain language. Well, that's great. A little more transparency doesn't hurt. Does not hurt. Let me actually do one more thing here. Let me just give me a second here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. I think I can make it a little bit bigger. Give me a second. Just want to make sure as many of you can see this. All right. That is bigger there. Hopefully it won't get cut off the screen. I think it's all going to fit. To continue, we're rolling out these terms of service starting with the U.S., but they will be effective in all regions by the end of next year. If you want to view the terms of service in their entirety, check out the link here. So you can go and check this out if you'd like. It's on the Google support page. You can just Google search updates to YouTube's terms of service November 20th, and you'll find the posting on Google. Clarification on data that can't be collected. Previous language. The following restrictions apply to your use of the service. You are not allowed to, and this is number 4, I guess they're amending parts of the actual terms of service. Collect or harvest any information that might identify a person, for example, usernames, unless permitted by that person or allowed under Section 3 above, which, they pulled this from the actual terms of service, so, they're just changing that line. Again, they're highlighting the changes. That was the previous language. So the new language is, the following restrictions apply to your use of service. You are not allowed to collect or harvest any information that might identify a person, for example, usernames or faces. Wow. Man, that's good. I actually like this. Unless permitted by that person or allowed under Section 3 above. Okay. I guess, more and more people will be getting removed off the platform. I know many people that violate this one alone. What changed? We added or faces to our terms of service to be explicit about what can't be collected. What this means. We are adding this into our terms of service to be extremely explicit about what kind of data users cannot collect from YouTube. YouTube has never allowed the collection of personally identifiable information, including data that can be used for facial recognition. Under previous versions of our terms of service, but we want to specifically include language around facial data to be even more clear. Very transparent. That's great, YouTube. We take user privacy seriously and want you to feel confident that your data is never being misused. Well, that's good. That's good. That's hard to believe, but I actually believe it. I believe that YouTube and Google, you're trying to do your best. I know it's not always perfect, but you're trying, and you have it in your terms of service, which is great. Absolutely. And now here's the one that's really, really stirred the pot throughout the entire YouTube community. Adding a new section to our terms of service, right to monetize. New section, right to monetize. You grant to YouTube the right to monetize your content on the service, and such monetization may include displaying ads on or within content or charging users a fee for access. Let me repeat that one more time. And I'm going to share with you my thoughts exactly. You may not like my thoughts, but they make sense. They're reasonable. Right to monetize. You grant to YouTube the right to monetize your content on the service, and such monetization may include displaying ads on or within content or charging users a fee for access. This agreement does not entitle you to any payments. Yeah. Starting November 18, 2020, any payments, well, let me get to that. That's a different part, okay? So what does that first part mean? That first part means that YouTube, at their discretion, is now allowed to put ads on any channel, whether it's monetized or not. And if you're not monetized, they get 100% of the revenue. That's what people are upset about. People are also upset about the fact that they may never want to get monetized. They just want to come out on YouTube and create content and have it free to their audience, and they don't want any ads on there. Well, let me make it very clear to those of you that don't understand this. YouTube is a business. YouTube is not a free storage platform. Nothing is free. And for the last 15 plus years this platform's been around, they have graciously, at their expense, given even non-monetized channels a place to put out anything they want, as much content as they want, and no ads go on it, even if they're not a part of the YouTube partner program. In essence, you're just, and I'm not trying to be rude, I'm not saying that these people have bad content. I'm saying that, it's boggling up the server space, and it's not something that is commercially viable to YouTube and Google. Remember the word commercially viable when we went over the terms of service about a year ago or almost a year ago? They put out that word commercially viable. And what that means is not, it's not a bad thing. What it means is that is your usage on the YouTube platform going to be beneficial to them or not? And if it's not going to be beneficial to them, in the ways that, the platform's been run for the past 15 years or so, well, then they'll let you still stay on, but now they're going to run ads when they see it fit on channels that are not even monetized. Either that, or look what they say here. Let's look at this again right here. Let's highlight this, okay? Let me highlight that section. Okay. And such monetization may include displaying ads on or within content or charging users a fee for access. What I think YouTube and Google should do for the people that are unhappy that ads are going to be placed on their non-monetized channels when they don't want them is they should give those channels an option. Either run ads, we run ads and we take all the revenue, or you pay us $9.99 per month or $10 per month. If YouTube was really smart, what they would do is they would say, okay, maybe we'll offer it to you for $4.99 per month, but we'll limit you to 10 uploads per month. If you want unlimited uploads, it's going to be $19.99 per month, right? Or we'll let you upload unlimited as long as we put ads on your videos and take all the revenue. Now, to me, that sounds very reasonable. And trust me, I'm the type of guy, when I feel someone is taking advantage of me, I'm the first one to spit it out. I honestly do not think that YouTube is taking advantage of anybody here. Neither is Google. We just have a lot of angry and bitter people that are unreasonable that, feel they're entitled to get everything in life for free. And let me make it very clear to all of you. Everything in life is not free. Nothing is free in life. You have to earn everything. I've been on this platform since it came out, but as an actual YouTuber, between a former channel I used to run and this channel, I've been on this platform for about 4 years now. And I was monetized on my former channel, and I'm monetized on this channel. And I run ads, and I even put lots of mid-roll ads because I feel that because of all the hard work I put into my content, I should be compensated as much as possible. And I also feel YouTube should be compensated, and Google as well, because Google owns YouTube. I feel that Google and YouTube should be compensated as well. It's a fair thing. It's a reasonable thing. I've never had one problem with, ads or anything. And heck, if you have a problem with ads, then pay for YouTube Premium. What is it like? I think it's like $11.99 per month. I have YouTube Premium. I've had it for almost 2 years now. I love YouTube Premium. But see, instead of, doing the right thing and paying a little money that would solve your problem, you folks want everything your way and you want it all for free. That's very unreasonable. That's extremely unreasonable. That is the main reason why I decided to do a video on this, a stream on this, because I wanted to share my thoughts and I wanted to, agree with the few people that are seeing this as reasonably as I am. And really appreciate the fact that we even have a platform like this to create on. Now, here's the next part here that threw a few people off that are already in the partner program. Didn't throw me off because I understand it. Starting November 18, 2020, any payments you may be entitled to receive from YouTube under any other agreement between you and YouTube, including, for example, payments under the YouTube Partner Program, channel memberships, which I have, Super Chat, which I have, will be treated as royalties. If required by law, Google will withhold taxes from such payments. Now, when I looked this up, and from what I've known about royalties, now don't take my word for it. I am not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not, a tax specialist or anything like that. I've been an entrepreneur for over 13 years. I've been self-employed. Okay? When you're self-employed, you get what's called the 1099. If you're an independent contractor, like we've been independent contractors from YouTube. We've been independent contractors of YouTube, which is what I'm trying to say. So we're not employees, we're independent contractors. But now they're changing that, and they're saying we're going to treat this now as royalties. So what does that mean? What that means is we're still independent contractors. We're still self-employed. But if the law in your areas require Google and YouTube to take taxes out in advance, they're going to do that. Some people were freaking out over this. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, what does it matter if they take out taxes in advance or you pay them at the end of the year? I would actually prefer to have taxes taken out in advance. Just like, back in my younger days when I was an hourly employee working in retail. I made an hourly wage. I got paid weekly or bi-weekly, depending, on the company I was working for. And they would take out, like 1/3 of the check or close to 1/3 of the check would be, they would withhold taxes. So at the end of the year, I either got a little bit of money back as a tax return, or I didn't pay any taxes or paid very little taxes. Now, the way it's been up until this time has been that we are self-employed 1099. I don't know if they're going to change the form. I don't know what's going to happen until we end up getting more information or getting tax documents. But if I had to highly assume and make an educated guess, is that I don't think anything's going to change. I think YouTube is just putting that in there. YouTube and Google are putting that in there in case the law requires them to see us as, being paid as royalties. And in case the law requires them to, withhold taxes, they're going to do that. They're just protecting themselves. So I don't see that as a big deal. If required by law, Google will withhold taxes from such payments. Okay, no big deal. How's that going to change things? I mean, here's the thing. Some people were saying in some of the videos I saw regarding this that, you get all your money up front and you have more disposable income to invest back into your business. Okay, that may be true, but shouldn't you also be putting away at least 35, maybe 40% of what you make as an entrepreneur? At least 30, 35% each month put off to the side, because that's what you're going to owe for taxes. So even if a few months you were hoping to get, all of your money that did not withhold taxes so you could go buy some big equipment, what if, that puts you in a position at the end of the year where you didn't have enough money to pay your taxes? I don't see any problems with this. I honestly don't see anything really any different. Yet people want to find a reason to complain about everything out here on YouTube, and it's just ridiculous. Instead of people just coming out here and creating content and being thankful and grateful for what we have, they want to find any and every way possible to kick down Google and YouTube. And to be quite frank with you, I'm sick of it. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had my moments, of having issues, with Google and YouTube, primarily when it comes to cyberbullying, harassment, and removing hateful videos. But besides that, as far as monetization, terms of service, all that, never had a problem with it. Never. I get why they're doing it. They're a business. They've got to protect themselves, and they've got to be profitable, or else there's no business going to be left for anyone to use. That's what people don't get. Let's go further into this. We're almost done, folks. We're almost done. What this means for channels not yet in the YouTube Partner Program, we added this new section to let you know that starting today, we'll begin slowly rolling out ads on a limited number of videos from channels not in YPP, which is the YouTube Partner Program. I am in the YouTube Partner Program, so it's not going to affect me. But even if I wasn't in the YouTube Partner Program, I would have no problem with it, because I'd be striving to get in the YouTube Partner Program. At the same time, I would understand that YouTube and Google are spending lots of money on server fees, storage space, internet bandwidth, electricity, paying employees, engineers, to keep this platform going, to keep making the product better. Do you folks not realize how much better the YouTube product has gotten over the past few years? Do you not realize that we've gone from square 4x3 TVs to 16x9 TVs, and now smart devices and laptops and desktops that can now not only do 720p HD video and 1080p HD video in 60 frames per second, not 30, which used to be the standard, but now 4K at 60 frames per second. Do people not realize, in order to make all of this work as smoothly as it does, it costs an enormous amount of money? And you're going to whine and complain about the fact that YouTube wants to run a few ads on non-monetized channels. What you should be doing is focused on creating your content, is what I'm trying to say. Build your subscriber base, get your 4,000, minimum watch hours, public watch hours in the previous 12 months, and get in the partner program. And then you'll start revenue sharing. If you folks can't see where YouTube and Google are going, they do want the independent creator to be here, but they want people that truly love this platform, respect the platform, and understand what it takes and costs for the platform to survive, They want people to be here that are going to be commercially viable. Look up that term if you don't remember what it means. I mentioned it earlier, and it was part of the terms of service update earlier on this year, almost a year ago. They want people on the platform that are going to be commercially viable. And if you're just coming on this platform to tinker around with 3 or 4 friends and run a bunch of live streams and talk smack, you're not commercially viable. You are wasting internet bandwidth. You're wasting storage space. You're costing Google and YouTube unnecessary losses. And I'm just being honest about that. So I get it. I get it, Google and YouTube. You're right. This means as a creator that's not in YPP, YouTube Partner Program, you may see ads in some of your videos. Since you're not currently in YPP, you won't receive a share of the revenue from these ads, though you'll still have the opportunity to apply for YPP as you normally would once you meet the eligibility requirements, which is 4,000 watch hours, public watch hours in the previous 12 months, and 1,000 subscribers. You also want to make sure that you have no copyright strikes, no community guideline strikes. You also, I know they let some people in if you have a few content ID claims, but I've never had any content ID claims. You should just not use any copyrighted material. You want to keep your channel clean, so when you go into review for monetization, once you reach the threshold, you'll be approved within 2 to 3 days like I was. I was approved. It'll be a year this December. I've been monetized for 11 months now on this channel. You can always check your progress towards eligibility on the monetization tab in YouTube Studio. Yeah, you can. It tells you right there. They're very clear about it. There's even a tab there on channels that are not in YPP where you can click, send me an email to notify me when I'm eligible. In case you don't check it, they'll let you know if you want. They give you the option. For monetizing creators in the U.S., we also updated the terms of service to mention that any payments from YouTube to creators will be considered royalties from a U.S. tax perspective, effective today, November 18, 2020. Today's the 19th. This happened yesterday. Hey, Lewis Fuller, how you doing, man? Didn't notice you, man. Welcome to the show, bro. Glad to see you here. How are things going for you, man? Yeah, I saw you go live I think it was a couple days ago or yesterday. Thank you for the like, Lewis. Hope all is well, man. I'm not going to be on too much longer. I just wanted to discuss the new monetization changes happening to YouTube and the new terms of service updates. So for monetizing creators in the U.S., I just read that part. I'll read it one more time. We also updated the terms of service to mention that any payments from YouTube to U.S. creators will be considered royalties from a U.S. tax perspective, effective today, November 18, 2020, which was yesterday. Some creators may be required to submit tax information in AdSense and may be subject to U.S. withholding taxes if required by law. U.S. creators will be generally unaffected by these withholdings, by these withholding taxes, as long as they provide valid documentation. So let me repeat that again. U.S. creators will be generally unaffected by these withholding taxes as long as they provide valid documentation. If you have any further questions, you may want to seek professional tax advice. So, look, I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not a tax consultant. I don't have any legal authority to talk about this. I'm just going to state an opinion on what I feel this means. And what I feel this means is that nothing is really going to change for the people that have valid tax IDs, whether you use your social security number or if you have a federal employer identification number like I do, because I have an organization called the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short, and the Coach Eli brand and the Grip on Life channel is a subsidiary of that. So I have a federal employer identification number, which is an FEIN. That's a legal tax document, or you can use your social security number. I think if I had to guess, I'm just guessing. I think if I had to guess, what they mean by that is people that that are part of the YouTube partner program, and maybe they're here on a temporary visa, or if they think like there's something sketchy going on where these people might not pay taxes, they might be required to withhold taxes from people. Do I think Google and YouTube are going to withhold taxes from most people? If I had to guess, probably not. I think they're putting that in there more as an option, because I'll tell you what I think actually happened. I think so many YouTubers don't report all their taxes. And I think what's happened is the government is now saying, hey, there are a bunch of people making money on your platform, yet we're not seeing a lot of taxes coming from your end. So that's why I feel YouTube and Google had to put that out there. YouTube and Google typically will never update a policy like this unless the law's gotten involved and either given them a warning or a friendly nudge, and they've said, you need to put this in your terms of service. We're not getting the tax dollars that we should be getting. We don't want to make a big deal out of it, but if it continues to happen, we will make a big deal out of it, right? That's just my opinion. That's all. If you have any further questions, you may want to seek professional tax advice. For creators outside the U.S., we'll provide more information about when these terms will become available for you next year. We hope this clears up any questions about these changes, Team YouTube. Okay. So that's that. Now, folks, here's the thing. I want to show you folks one more thing here, how much pride I take in my YouTube channel. Even though I'm still a small creator and I'm almost at 5K subs, and even though all the rules keep changing, I abide by the rules. I keep coming back every day, if not almost every day, and I keep pushing forward because I love this platform. And I know if I continue doing what I'm doing, I'm going to take my channel and my business where I want it to go, where it will go. But let me switch over and let me go ahead and expand. Well, I don't even need to expand the screen. It's at a good spot, actually. Okay, so what I want to show you folks, this is my monetization for live streams. As you see here, it says live stream replay over there, but it's kind of cut off. It's kind of cut off. But you can see it right there. I'm going to scroll down and show you folks the last 30 live streams I've done. And I want you to pay close attention to my monetization status, visibility, and monetization status. Okay? Let me circle that, let me hover over this again. Right there. Just take a look at that. I'm going to go slowly here. Take a look at that. Now, there are some videos I put on private, but they're still monetized. Look at all that. Now, what I'll even do is I'll go one more page. Let me go one more page here. Let's show one more page. Look at the monetization status. Green, green everywhere. You see is green. Green, green, green. Green. Look at all that. Now, there were a few there that I had turned monetization off myself. Those are videos that are to private. We'll never see the light of day again. But besides that, look, we're back to green, 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 green. Nothing but green. Let me go back to full screen, folks, and just wrap up by saying this. And let me just also say why I decided to create this stream as a coach. I'm a business and personal relationship coach. Part of my business side of things involves helping people out here on YouTube that want to, make a living using, video to promote your brand, to make something out of yourself. I can help you do that. So that's why I do streams like this, to update you folks on the terms of service, any monetization changes, and to also share with you the truth about what's actually going on. I'm here to be a voice of reason. I think I'm going to brand myself as Coach Eli, the voice of reason, because most people are not reasonable out here. They're just angry and bitter because they don't want to comply with the rules, because they've been used to getting away with so many things for so long because YouTube kind of turned the cheek for a while. And now that YouTube's cracking down on those things that are affecting them as a business for making money, these people are complaining. They're whining and complaining about every little thing. I'm here to tell you folks, if you are a good person and you want to create a long-term sustainable income as an entrepreneur, YouTube is one of the best places to do it. I love coming out here. I love doing what I do. I enjoy this. I enjoy this pretty much almost more than anything. The only thing I enjoy more than this is spending time with my family and maybe a woman that I may be dating in the future. Who knows? But I really enjoy what I do here. And I feel grateful and thankful to Google and YouTube for making this platform possible. Folks, you have to understand that if it wasn't for Google buying YouTube a little over 15 years ago from a bunch of college kids, there's no way in hell it would have survived. They saved YouTube for us, and they turned it into something incredible that I don't know if any other company would have been able to do that. Maybe Amazon had the money and resources to do it, but that would be probably one of the only other few companies that could have saved, YouTube. Now, there may be a few other companies, but they don't have the technical aspect down to be able to, run something like this. Google not only had the money, they already had the infrastructure for it. They were already a high-tech company. This was a no-brainer for them. So, folks, try to, be a little more reasonable. Try to be a little more understanding to why certain things happen. This past, the past few weeks or month or so, going back to the election, what's still happening with the election, now what's happening with YouTube, I see nothing but whiny little crybabies, whiny middle-aged grown adults being whiny crybabies, and it's the saddest thing. It's the most pathetic thing. Come on, people. We're better than that. We're better than that. Try to be a little more reasonable. Try to be a little more understanding. And last but not least, try to not always make everything about you. Many people always put the focus on me, 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 me. Why don't you think about the other side every now and then? Take their thoughts and feelings into consideration, and then it might give you a better understanding of what's actually happening. That's all I got to say, folks. I'm going to wrap things up. We've been on for 54 minutes. Lewis Fuller, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you to anyone else who was watching behind the scenes, folks. I will more than likely be back tomorrow. I forgot to mention also, I was doing some testing on my iPhone 12 Pro Max earlier with this right here. This is the Video Mic Me L by Rode. When I had my iPhone 6 Plus, it still had a headphone jack. And I had the headphone jack version of the same mic that I used to do videos on in 720p at 60 frames per second on my iPhone 6 Plus, because the front camera could only do 720 on that camera. The front could do 1080, but the back could do 1080, but the front camera could only do 720. On the iPhone 12 Pro Max, both the front and the rear cameras can do 4K at 60 frames per second. And I tested it with this microphone. It just sounds amazing. I tested a 1-minute file, 4K 60 frames per second at normal quality, which is 50 megabits per second, which is a 50 megabit file. For 4K. That file was almost 400 megabytes for 1 minute. 400 megabytes for 1 minute. I went and put it into Adobe Premiere Pro. I enhanced the audio. It actually took, even with my i7, about 8 minutes to render that 1 minute file. Then I uploaded it to YouTube, and I have Fiverr. It literally took like a few seconds to upload. And it literally took about like 2.5 hours to process. I mean, YouTube, when you upload a 4K video, will process it up to 1080p pretty fast. But if it's 4K, it takes like an extra few hours, depending on how long the file is. So I did some testing, and it is absolutely beautiful, folks. Sounds great, looks great. So I'm just letting you know that coming soon, maybe as soon as tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to head out and shoot some 4K coverage while I go on a walk. I don't know where that walk's going to be at, and it's not going to be live. It'll be pre-recorded. And I just wanted to let you folks know that the 4K, videos are coming, outside of the studio. And if you have any suggestions on any topics you would like me to discuss while I'm out on these walks, let me know. I would love to help you out and share with you the beauty of where I live at the same time. That being said, have yourselves a great night, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye. Whoops. Oh, my gosh. That was too soon. Here we go. There we go.